Right, so I'm going to set off from here. I literally just came out the parking lot and I got garbage already. So I'm going to head down a place called Hodges Park, which is down the bottom of this trail. That snow you can see over there, that's Canada Olympic Park. That's where Eddie the Eagle did all his ski jumps. That big thing that looks like a coal mining tower, that's actually the ski jump that Eddie the Eagle used. So I'm going to head down here, head off down to the left here, down the hill to the park there, Hodges Park, and do some more when I get there. Alright, I'm at the top of the hill. Anybody that watches any of my other videos will recognise those two train bridges and that over there. That's all Baker Park, Beaumont Park and Bowness Park over that way. I quite often do my litter picks over there. But today I am further along the riverbank. You can go all the way down that gully down the bottom there. There's some really nice access down to the river down there. It's a little bit wet. There's steps that go all the way up over the hill over there. That's very nice. Yeah. This is always a very popular spot. Not too bad for garbage so far, which is good. Nice to see. Yeah. So I'm going to head down the hill. I'll be down at river level not too long from now, but I will head across to this corner because quite often I find stuff over here. All the crocuses are coming out. We have prairie crocuses here, which is nice to see. There are so many little trails that are up through this area. It's really nice. Yeah. So if you look, there's crocuses coming up everywhere. See? I keep looking, I keep seeing bits of colour and thinking, oh, garbage. No, crocus, crocus, crocus. They're everywhere. There's literally millions of them around here this time of the year. Yeah. The valley down the bottom there, like I say, that's where the springs are. I did a video down there a little while back to show you where that is. On the top of the hill here. Yes, you can actually go all the way down the bottom. If you listen, you might actually be able to hear them. That's pretty steep down in there. There is a walkway down through there if you look. Without the leaves on the trees you can see it. There's a wooden walkway, goes all the way down through there. You can go down there, up all those millions of stairs up the other side. So that bridge over there, that's the train bridge where I always walk around. Just the other side there's another bridge just past that. That's where I normally go, it's down through there. But I picked all the litter up through there the other week and it's actually pretty nice now. Look, the crocuses everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Right, I'm going to head on off to my left and down the hill. Right, I'm going to head down this way. This path I'm on with the yellow stripe, this is part of the pathway system, the bike paths and that around Calgary. As I've said in many of my other videos, Calgary is a very bikeable city. There are some hills. It may look flat, but I can assure you it's not. Yeah. There are some good bikeable hills. Crocuses everywhere, look. Everywhere I look now, all I can see is purple. Yeah. Which is good. And I can't see a lot of garbage. So that's even better. That piece at the top where I just stopped, that's quite often full of cigarette ends because for whatever reason people come and, oh, what an amazing place. I'll come and sit here and enjoy the view. Then I'll chuck all my cigarette ends all over the ground. That's not a good plan. This little lookout platform up here, I have found quite a lot of garbage underneath that thing in the past. People come and sit there and drink their drinks and what have you, and seem to forget that there is a bin right at the very top. Now I can see it from here, but for whatever reason a lot of stuff ends up underneath there. I don't think many people go under there. It's more like the teenage kid hangout. So I will go along here, have a look. As you can see, it's not a bad day. It was supposed to be pouring over and rain today, so I've actually put a coat on. I've actually got a coat on today. But it was supposed to be pouring hard, but as you can see, it's not. So I will take that, head down along this way. I'll head down underneath the little platform there and see what I can find. Actually looks pretty clean. Yeah, I have to admit, looks pretty clean. Let's go down underneath here and see what I can see. Huh? I've been nearly tripping over on the grass. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I found all kinds of garbage under there before now. Yeah. That is a good thing. Yeah. I think I'll stay on the top here. There we go. Yeah, I think I'll stay along the top path here for a bit. And, head down the hill into Hodges Park. Right. Walk down the hill continues. And, I'm pleasantly surprised to find that it's actually not too bad for garbage. Not too bad at all. Found quite a few cigarette ends. Always find cigarette ends. Better to pick them up than they end up in the river, that's for sure. Yeah. Smoking has to be one of the most disgusting habits ever invented by mankind. Absolutely. Always made me laugh with COVID and all the rest of it. I said, oh yeah, all these people are dying of COVID and you know we need to do something about it, and it becomes a worldwide problem, and yet more people die every single year from smoking than all the people that died throughout the entire COVID thing. So, yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah. Right. It's nice though. Birds are all waking up. Bird season. That's the other reason I'm coming down into Dale Hodges, because you'll see when I get down there. It's actually a water treatment plant, and what they did is instead of having like mechanical separators and all that kind of stuff and filtration tanks, what they did is the water is mostly treated, and then it comes down into these massive reed beds. You'll see when we get down there, it comes down into these massive reed beds, and the plants and that do most of the cleaning, and it's actually quite amazing. And they made a really good wildlife area. It was actually an old quarry at one time. It was an old gravel pit, I believe, and then when they repurposed it into this big park, they turned it into a water treatment plant as well, which is actually an amazingly good use for it. Right, I will continue on my way downhill. Right, I'm down the bottom, almost at river level, and I have to say, nice and clean. It's actually not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. It's listen to this. Isn't that great? This trail I'm on at the moment is actually part of the Trans-Canada Trail, where it comes through Calgary. It heads in here and then heads off out towards the mountains. This is part of the route through Calgary. I like to get down and do the litter picking before it all greens up, because you can see it's starting to go green now. We get one really decent downpour, and we get one really decent downpour, and the next thing you know, everything's growing like crazy. Oh, and there's my train going across the bridge. Yeah. And sod's law, I'm nowhere near the bridge. Right, I will continue on my way, which is down. Right, let's take a little shortcut down through here. This is a very popular shortcut. Brings you out by the first sediment tank there. Oh, I can hear the train is slowing down. Okay, where's that garbage? Yeah. Oh, that's garbage. The bucket's fell over. That is most definitely garbage. Not sure what that is, but it can go in my bucket. See, now if that was all greened up, I'd never see that. This bit down through here can sit a little wet, so I might have to tiptoe across some muddy bits here in a moment. So far I haven't even filled the whole bucket up yet. Yeah, this bit down in here tends to sit wet, as you can see. I'll put around there. I think through here one time, had a whole pile of crap in here. I think somebody had been camping out in here, homeless camp or something. Be surprised how many of these I find. See the chapsticks. Find loads of chapsticks. Fall out of people's pockets. Tissues. Find lots of white tissues everywhere. They fall out of people's pockets. People don't deliberately drop them on the trail, I don't think. I'm sure some do, but I think the vast majority don't. Generally speaking, Canadians are pretty good with the litter and what have you. But chapsticks, I find a lot of chapsticks. Yeah. Right, just down through here, there's a large bank in front of me. When I've got the bank, I'll show you what's up there. Yeah. Very pleasant down through here. See, another piece of tissue fell out of somebody's pocket. We'll have that out of there. And that's only small pieces. All these small pieces, especially cigarette ends, they end up in the rivers. And we do not want them in the rivers. Right, this here, we'll just get over this little bank. Right, this piece here, what we have, let's put that down. This is a primary sediment tank. There's a water inlet over there. This is where the sediment comes in, all settles out, and it goes through into the centre. And right in the middle of the picture there, where those two ducks are, there's a hole goes down in there. And that goes down through into a pipe and discharges on the other side there. I'll go around there in a second and I'll show you that. Just going to do the loop around here because sometimes I find garbage around here, and I'll show you where the water comes out the other side. So this is the primary sediment tank. They pump this out every now and again, but yeah, it's a great system. Makes a really good park, and it makes a fantastic water treatment plant at the same time. I'll show you more as I go around. The water has settled out all the sediment in the tank over there. It flows out through these little holes through here into this creek. Now this creek can flow down. If the wetlands become completely full, they have height things on here. If you look here, this pond here, there's a little dam over the other side there, like a height wall, if you want. Maintains the water level in the system. I'll take you over there and show you that. It's very nice down through here. It really is a nice place. And this is how cities should deal with wastewater treatment. You'll see the reed beds in a minute, and massive reed beds in here. Makes amazing habitat. Now, there is a bypass creek. If there's a lot of water, there's actually a little bit of water flowing through it at the moment. Right, down through here, as you can see, there's a bypass creek. This is what sets the height. Oh, there's a bag down there. I don't think I can actually get down there and get that. It's a bugger. This is what actually sets the height for the system. If there's too much water in the system, it flows down through there. And there's a bypass creek that goes all the way up to the other end. This is treated water already. It's already been pretty much 99% clean. So it throws down through here, and that goes down into smaller reed beds down that way. We up through here. I'll go down into the main park, and I'll show you the reed beds when I get there. Absolutely amazing. So what happens from the far end there is the water all comes down into these massive reed beds, and these are great big like crescent shaped reed beds, and these are height controlled, so one flows into the next, into the next, into the next, and so on, and they go down this entire piece of valley here and eventually out into the river at the other end. Absolutely full of birds in here. Absolutely amazing. Right, I'll cut down through the middle, see if there's any garbage. This whole place is actually buzzing with birds, it's brilliant. Cattails everywhere. These actually make amazing filtering plants. Like I say, there's a great big C-shaped, horseshoe-shaped filtration tanks in here, beds if you want. So any nutrients in that are in there, all absorbed by the reeds. But this was an abandoned quarry. As you can see, there's high side up that side. That was actually that hill that you see all the way along that side. There's actually a nice path that goes all the way along. It's very up and down. That was actually the shore of the prehistoric lake that used to be in here, back to when this was all glacial lakes through here. Yeah, that was the riverbank. I'd have been on the bottom of it now. We just check over here. That little bypass creek that I was just showing you comes out on this side. That's this creek that you can see here. As you can see, it flows down through, still flows through reed beds and what have you. But this water that's coming through here is pretty much mostly treated. They're not allowed to put contaminated water in the river. Very, very strict on what goes in the river. Very strict. As you can see, there's reed beds, that whole river bank all the way down through there, absolutely full of reeds. These make amazing filters. Now if you look, if these ponds fill up, these black tubes, these are all height tubes, and they're all the way along here. So should the ponds here fill up too much, there is actually spill-offs, like spill ports if you want, that will allow the water into the bypass channel on the side. They're all the way along here. This looks like a natural environment. It's not. It's all man-made. The whole thing is, which is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. There's nice walkways over here through the middle. Oh, there's a little bit of garbage there. I'll just pick that up and head on my way. So this is Dale Hodges Park. Oh, 40 hectares. Yeah. So I don't know if you can read that on camera, but it's quite the sight. You come down here in the middle of summer, it's actually really, really nice once it's all greened up. But the problem is, once it's all greened up, you can't find any garbage. So right, there's loads of pathways and what have you down through here, millions of them. But I'm going to go through the boardwalk here in the middle, and I'll do that when I get there. The boardwalk bit's always nice, especially this time of year, because it's not icy now. You come down here in the winter, this is actually quite slippery down through here. Need to make sure you bring your spikes. And once all this greens up, all these willows and that in here, absolutely amazing little walk down through here. Now the only problem with this walk, and it joins up with a bridge to the other side, is if the water level is really high, I have to go round. Let's have a look and see. Looks like I'm going round. Right, so I'll go up to the end just to show you, but as you can see, you can't walk around here at the moment. This piece along the side here, this little berm along here, you can normally walk around to that other little bridge that you can see in the distance there. You can walk around and across. I thought it was full because the spill port was going, so they've got a lot of water in here at the moment. Yeah, you can normally walk along there and up over that bridge piece on the other side. However, today not so much. So yeah, as you can see, there's all kinds of walkways and bridges and all kinds in here. It's actually an amazing place. If you're into bird photography and what have you, this is definitely a good place to come. And the boardwalks are very nice. I'm just going to check up around this side of the boardwalk, because stuff does get blown off in the winter and ends up down in the side here, and you may not see it. There's a little piece down there. You may not see it until later in the year. Yeah. See, this is what you're looking for. See these little tissues, they fall out of people's pockets and get blown over the side. I see some more over there. All these things don't belong in here. There's another one. Yeah, these things don't belong in here. So, let me check up this side. Oh, somebody's dog's not coming back. Here's somebody shouting for their dog. Come back, come back. Yeah, you've got to be careful down here because there are coyotes down in here. Yeah. Yeah, somebody's dog's not paying attention. No surprise there. Too many things to sniff and check out down here. Yeah. Yes, there is a trail because I found that corner over there straight up that hill. But I'm going to go along to the other end and then cross over back onto the path. Yeah, there are notices in here about keeping your dogs under control. We do have, now although we're a distance from the mountains, moose and that are, especially this time of year, you'll find quite a lot of moose and that in and around town. Yeah, look at all the willows and that down in there. Isn't this amazing? This is a park that a lot of people don't come to. I've no idea why, because you can actually make some very nice loops. Over there through the trees at the bottom you can see some rocks and a bit of white. There's several trails that go straight up the hill, and you can head up around that way. There's nice mud cliffs all along here. If you're into bird watching, all along that edge over there, roughly about there somewhere, there's all kinds of mud holes in there where the birds all nest. But you sit here and you listen and it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right, I'm going to continue on around to the other side. Right, so there's that bit cleaned up. Just a few cigarette ends and that along there. So that's good. Head back down, path down this way. I'm sure there's more crap in the grass that I can't see. However, you stand a better chance of being able to find it this time of the year than you ever do once it's all greened up. The river level's up a fair amount actually, it's not too bad. Yeah. River level's not too bad at all. Oh yeah, I could swim across that. You couldn't. If you look at how fast, let's see if I can keep the camera going. Look how fast that water's flowing. And that water's about 4 degrees C. Trust me, you wouldn't last long swimming in that. Yeah. Right, I'm going to head on downstream a little bit. Not much further, then I'm going to turn around and come back up. Here we have some very ancient artwork. And by ancient, I mean probably last week. Right, come right down to the river level now. There's this slab of concrete here. A lot of this stuff got washed out in the floods. It actually makes a remarkably good chair. Ooh, very cold chair too. Oh yeah, that's cold. I don't want to sit on this for too long. Right, so feet up next to the river. No campfire. Should have a campfire right there. But, as you can see, the river is flowing good. Lots of geese and that around. It heads off down that way for several thousand miles, all the way down into the Hudson Bay. Amazing, isn't it, to think that this water will eventually end up in Hudson Bay. Yeah. It's going to take a while to get there. But I'll see if I can keep up with the flow of water to give you an idea how fast this is moving. That's how swift that current is moving along here. Quite amazing, isn't it? Yeah. I can tell you now the water's bloody cold. Yeah. Right, I'm going to head along. Not sure if I'm going to go back up the path or whether I'm going to head up onto the top of the hill. There's several paths that you can actually end up on top of the hill and go along the top of that way. But that's a lot more up and down, up and down, up and down to get up there. And there's lots of bits you have to kind of go round and back up and around and all that kind of good stuff. So I might go back along the actual pathway. Right, I'm just going to go over here in a moment and I'll show you where the water comes out. Alright, this location here, this is the final bridge. This comes over, this is where the water comes out into the river. It goes over here. This is the exit. once it's gone through all the reed beds and the reeds and all the other millions of plants and willows in there have all had a good drink, the water eventually comes out here. Now when the water is really low, you can just walk right across there. They put big stepping stones across there, you can see them, where the water is high at the moment. So, yeah, not bad. Those houses along the back of there's a big berm they're going to build all the way along the back of those houses, all part of the flood defence, because in the floods of 2013 I'd have been underwater. Most of those houses over there were completely underwater, a lot of them were destroyed, had to be rebuilt. So there's a big berm coming along there. That's part of the next part of the flood defences for the city, that is. Yeah, much to the disapproval of the people that live over there, because they think they own the riverbank, but they don't. Their gardens actually end up way back from the riverbank. There is a berm going along there, and rumour is they're putting a cycle path along there too. So that'll make for a nice loop along there, I think. Right, so this is the final bridge. This is as far as you can get on the river. You can, if you wish to continue, go all the way along there and up the hill, up along the top of that hill, and all the way back along. But I think what I will do is I'll head back up the path this way, because I really don't fancy slugging up that hill, and continue on round. Like I say, this is the discharge. This is where the water comes out into the river. There's a bunch of S-bends up through here, through the river banks and all that, and round it goes. Right, I'm going to head back up and see what I can find. Right, this is the end of the park. Alright, morning. This is the end of the park. This is where all the reed beds end. Yeah. So there's many pathways around here, and I have to say, my entire trip so far, all I found is not even half a bucket, which is actually brilliant. Yeah, lots of people out and about walking their dogs and just enjoying the day. It's Easter Sunday today. Nope. Have the ducks coming over. And so if you're into bird watching, this is an amazing place. Yeah, I see people down here in the summer all the time with their long lenses and all their stuff all set up and what have you. But if you listen, absolutely full of birds. It's a great place, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Right, and my pathway continues that way, so we will head on up there and back up the hill. As you can see, the beavers do bring down much bigger trees, that's for sure. They brought down all of these along here. The size of some of these. Beavers make short work of them, I can tell you. Yeah. Look at that. Yes, very nice walk along here. And that is it for garbage so far. Actually very good. Right, let's head along here. I have to go back up this bank here in a moment. Right, now I get to climb back up the hill. So before I do, one more look along here. This is a little side shoot of the river. The main river is the other side. It's like a big island in the middle. Yeah. Right, now I have to head back up there. So time for me to put this away. Right, almost back at the top. There's that little platform thing. Oh, just come up that bank. It's pretty steep. Now if the water level's really low, you can actually walk all the way along the bottom of here. But at the moment, it's not really low. Nothing like. But considering today was supposed to be a day where it did nothing but rain all day, actually doesn't look too bad. Even looking at the mountains, I see some blue sky out there, so I'll definitely take that. Right, just this last bit of elevation to gain here, probably around another 30-40 meters I guess, not even, and I'll be at the top. And here we are again, back at the top of the hill. As you can see, there's somebody walking up the path the other side. Gives you an idea how steep that is. That is really steep actually. A lot of the steps down there. Now I could go down in the bottom of this valley and walk up the boardwalk, but it means I have to lose a lot of elevation and then gain it all back again, so that's a bit of a pain, so I ain't going to do that. Looks very nice out towards the mountains, eh? Blue skies out there. Yeah, it's supposed to be a really crappy day, although I can see a band of cloud just over the top of the mountains, which is usually a good indication that it's probably windy out there. The weather in town can be completely different to that out in the mountains, that's for sure. Right, I think I will just sit here for a moment, enjoy the peace and quiet. I've only found literally the entire walk, all the way from the top, all the way down to Dale Hodges and back again. I have found literally half a bucket. That is good. Yeah, I'll take that. Right, I think I'll call that my closeout. Thank you very much for coming along. It's been a nice walk around. It's very, very peaceful. It's almost like it's Easter Sunday or something and everybody else is occupied. Normally this place is absolutely buzzing with people, yeah, but not today, so that's good. Right, thank you very much for coming along. I'm going to head home.